Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging around, and I hope you've enjoyed the wonderful hospitality here. Thank you, everyone, for hosting us here tonight. It's been we said that we'd come back when we were in a position to share a result with you, and we think we now know the result. And as we said at the start of the night, the issue of preferences is going to be a very important one in this election, and as you would have seen, all of you who are on the booths helping us hand out how to vote, we had the Rise Up Australia Party and Corey Bernardi Party who had reached an agreement with Labor that helped might help Corey Bernardi get a few seats up in South Australia. We had an anti-Muslim party coming out, and we had a number of them all lined up there that you would have seen during the course of the day, all handing out how to votes that were preferencing Labor. We have had a look at the numbers as they have come in, and so we do want to share with you what it means for us, and I'm going to hand over to someone who's very, very well known to all of you. And before I do, I just want to say to every single one of you who is in this room, you have helped make climate change a #1 political agenda. You have helped make fair share inequality back on the national agenda. You should all be incredibly proud of what you've done. And I'd like to introduce to you now the leader of the Australian Greens, Richard Di Natale.
As Alex said, it's been a very, very tight run race. It's been very close, neck and neck on primaries, but it looks like because of the preferences from all the hard right parties, from Corey Bernardi, from Rise Up Australia, that we're just going to fall short tonight. So I just want to say firstly, a huge congratulations and thank you to every single one of you in this room for all the work you put in over weeks and months, for knocking on all those doors, for having those conversations with people, for making sure, thank you, that people right around the country know that that Adani coal mine has to not be built. That we have to make that transition to renewable. That we have to start tackling inequality and get serious about bridging the gap between the rich and poor in this country. That we have to close down those camps and close them down now. Showing the nation that the people of Batman are generous, decent people, are compassionate people, are people who care about their children and their children's children's future, people who care not just about themselves but about their neighbours and about the planet. And you helped us to do that during this campaign. I want to congratulate Kearney on running a really tough campaign. She's got a huge responsibility now to represent the people of this community and to take a stand to ensure that we start doing what needs to be done to take action on climate change, to take a strong stand against that Adani mine. And to make sure she backs up with her vote in the Parliament, what she said during this campaign. But I do want to congratulate her. I want to congratulate the Labor Party. It has been a tough contest and a very tight contest, and ultimately they are now faced with a huge responsibility. I also want to thank the person standing next to me, who during this campaign behaved with grace and dignity. who is... We love you, Alex! Alex is well known and well loved by this community. She's well loved by all of us. She ran a terrific campaign. We had big money spent during this campaign. We fought vested interests. And we did it with people power. We knocked on doors. And I know so many of you gave up your time over these weeks because of your love and support for Alex Bhathal. Alex's hard work that we're talking about the Adani mine right around the country. It's because of her advocacy for innocent people locked up in those hellholes that we're now having a national conversation about what it means to be a decent nation and to bring those innocent people here to close the camps and show some decency and compassion. I'm going to hand over to Alex, but I just want you to remember one thing. Back in 2012, we had a tough by-election in the state seat of Melbourne. We lost that by-election. We came back and we won it at the next general election.
Everyone for being here tonight. Obviously it's not the result that any of us would have wanted, but I wanted to talk with you all tonight about what we've been able to achieve. And I wanted to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on tonight, the Wurundjeri Willam. And I want to pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to other Aboriginal people in this room tonight. And any Torres Strait Islander people in this room tonight as well. So I know there are many in our electorate. I want to acknowledge my dear friend Lydia Thorpe, our first Green. I want to acknowledge James Williams, who's here tonight, who worked so hard with me today on reservoir views, and any other Aboriginal or First Nations people here tonight. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land, and we know that in this seat. We know that. I first want to congratulate Jed Kearney. It's been an honour to have contested this seat against Jed. Many people have said over the course of this election campaign that regardless of the outcome, we'll have a strong, progressive woman representing us in this seat, from a caring profession, a nurse. And I wish Jed all the very best in Canberra. As I said before, this is not the result that any of us would have wanted tonight. But I want you to know how proud I am of each and every one of you and all the efforts that you put in. Not just over this by-election, but for many of you over decades, right alongside me and many other people of the Darabin Greens and the Yarra Greens and the Whittlesea Greens. This has been a huge collective effort. Thank you. You have put everything into this short and sharp by-election campaign, and I want to thank you for your hard work, for your passion and for your unwavering commitment to changing things in this country for the better.
Yes.
As Richard said, this was always going to be a tough contest. We knew that Labor would throw everything they have at this seat to hold it after 84 years. We, in our turn, have run our enormous grassroots campaign, as we always do, with nearly 1,000 volunteers against the huge money, the corporate donations money, that is able to be spent by the Labor Party. We've run this campaign with integrity, with heart and with hard work, and I'm so proud of our entire team, especially all of you, our volunteers. You are the future of progressive politics in this country. You're the future of our party, and you're the reason we pushed this contest right down to the wire tonight. I know that many of you will be hurting tonight and that it's not the result that we would have wanted, but I hope that we'll be kind to ourselves and to each other over the coming weeks. I know that your passion and your commitment to the change we need to see in our society won't be diminished. And we'll go on to fight other fights and keep standing up for what we believe in. Of course we will, because we're from Batman, the most progressive seat in the country. It's been a tough campaign for me and for my family and for many of you. And it's been a long journey as well for the Greens in this seat for over 20 years. Since Frank Ryan first ran for the seat in 1996, and I'd like to acknowledge Frank Ryan and his efforts and contributions to our community over many years. Still a proud member of the Darabin Greens. Many fine people, including Frank and so many others, have been with us on this journey, and I'm grateful for all their work and their support building this seat to where we've been tonight. Tonight, first, I'd like to thank all of you, our volunteers. You are the heart and soul of our campaign. Your passion, your hard work and commitment are unrivalled. You are all absolute champions, but there is someone else that I need to single out tonight for a special thanks. Julie Bain. You've been campaigning with the Greens in this seat since before I first joined in 2001. You've stood up for our community for so many years. I admire your activism and your strength and your absolute persistence. I know you have helped thousands of people with your generosity. You've saved lives, and I thank you, Julie. Yeah. For her generosity and incredible hard work for the Greens and for refugees. Thank you, Barbara. I want to thank the members of the 3 Greens branches that cover this seat, the Whittlesea, the Darabin and the Yarra Greens, and my colleagues on Darabin and Yarra councils. Thank you. My campaign teams and the campaign teams that have run throughout these long contests over the last 16 years that I've been running in the seat and helping others running the seat. What incredible work we have done and what we have built in this community, our community. Thank you. To my fellow members of the Batman Election Campaign Committee, such a fine and high calibre group of people. To the Darabin branch office bearers, thank you to every single one of you for your hard work and your support. You have got me here tonight. Thank you. To our Green state MPs, particularly Lydia Thorpe, Samantha Ratnam and Hong Trung. To our Greens leader, Richard Dinatali, who grew up in here in Reservoir. Thank you for your generosity and your friendship over the years, Richard. And Richard's strong connections in this seat have been so important to the closeness of our results here. Thank you, Richard. And to Senator Janet Rice, my thanks. I have admiration for all your hard work, particularly for the environment, and as a strong advocate for LGBTQI people. And Claudia, for your friendship and your support. I would have so dearly loved to join you in the lower house, I think we would have been an incredible team, forging the change for the better that this country needs.
It'll happen.
Thanks, Adam.
You will be.
I just need to say that I wouldn't be here tonight without Adam. And I wanted to acknowledge that.
Just a matter of time.
To all my Greens colleagues and all our Greens colleagues across our state and our federal parliamentarians and our state parliamentarians who've travelled from all over the country to lend their support for this incredible campaign we've just run, on behalf of the Victorian Greens, I say thank you. I also need to thank my friends, my neighbours and my in-laws who live in this electorate or just outside it, from Clifton Hill all the way up to Bundoora and McLeod. Your support over the decades has been quite remarkable. Thank you. Thanks Bea for out there, my sister-in-law, for all of the people who've brought Pete and me food, who've looked after our boys, who've sent messages of support and just generally held us together during this campaign and all the campaigns before it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. To the Sikh community of Australia and to the Indian communities of Australia, thanks for all your support and your faith in me. It's been very important to me. Race girl who wasn't sure who I was or where I belonged, you've taken me into your hearts and I thank you for that. You've never questioned my identity as an Indian background Australian. I'd also like to thank the parents of Thornbury Primary, where Pete and I have been parents for so many years. It's a very special community we share at our remarkable school, with Aboriginal kids, one of the largest Aboriginal enrolments in Melbourne, in metropolitan Melbourne, and Steiner kids, and all kinds of kids and parents. You've really kept us going, and thank you so much for your support. Another person I need to thank, without whom I wouldn't be here tonight, and that's my friend and my soul sister, Carol Pondelilay. Tonight, Carol. Thank you. You know I couldn't have done this without you. I feel so grateful that I met you through the Greens. It's one of the greatest things that the Greens has ever brought me and Pete. And through your sister-in-law Bronwyn, happy birthday Bronwyn. It's not quite the present that you wanted, but yeah, thank you. And finally I need to thank my family. My sister Frances in Reservoir, my father Pippi in Northcote, my boys Ravi and Patrick. You walked this road with me, and I'm so grateful for your love and support. And to Peter, you live up to your name. You've been my rock. I know it hasn't been easy, but I know that together we share a commitment to the change we need to see in this country. We share a commitment to looking after the rights of people, of asylum seekers and refugees, for social justice and health, and we have a shared deep respect for the First Nations people of this continent. I know that this has been a tough night for all of us, but we can't lose sight of the fact that we've made some very big wins here. We've stood up for cleaner politics, for human rights, for the environment and for a return to Australia's egalitarian traditions. We've shone a national spotlight on some old party policies that deserve national scrutiny. We've exposed Labor's fence sitting on Adani, the climate disaster in the making.
Yes!
Because no political party can claim that they care about climate change and take it seriously unless they stop that mine from being constructed and commit to moving Australia to the renewable energy future that we all deserve. Of locking up innocent men, women and children in maximum security facilities in Australia and in offshore prison islands. This is a humanitarian crisis and it's happening right now because of the Liberal and Labor parties. And we need to shine a spotlight on that. It's the community campaigns and the grassroots movements like ours and those who stand with us and those who turn up and work so hard who will force the change this country needs. The Stop Adani and the refugee rights movements and campaigns are becoming so loud that our voices can no longer be ignored. Despite this loss, I want us all to remember that we are the party that stands up for what's right. We will continue to stand by our Greens values and fight for the changes we need to see in Australian politics. I thank you all again for your work and support. Thank you.
It's okay now to buy Alex and her wonderful family a drink. Not the ones under 18, they can have lemonade, but the others, because they deserve it. And I'm just like, could you please, Alex's family have been on this journey for so long. Pete and Riley and Patty, thank you all so very much for everything that you have done. And as you sit with us, enjoy a drink and just contemplate all the amazing things that we've done, just remember this, 2 and a bit% still makes it one of the most marginal seats in the country. And for this, we have Alex to thank, and if it's not this time, we'll get her in next time.